What's going on, guys? This is Mies, and I'm actually going to be doing a very quick card review on Forbidden Chalice today. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've started playing the card recently in my decks online. One of my friends, Jesse Flores, told me, "Oh, by the way, Forbidden Chalice is kind of really nice." And I was like, "Chalice? Why? Forbidden Droplet is kind of just like a better card, no?" That's true, but the thing is, you don't always have the resources to use when your opponent is only really threatening you with one card. Try to think about it. You're using two cards with Forbidden Droplet. You're using the Droplet itself, and then you're sending another card. I do agree that certain decks can actually afford to pay the cost of Forbidden Droplet a bit more efficiently, and your opponent cannot respond, or the fact that it doesn't target is great, and also it halves the attack, which is fantastic. But Forbidden Chalice is also a gem of a card, because it is literally an imperm when you go first, and when you're going second, it's a better and a worse imperm, and this is what I'm going to try to tackle today. But before we start, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Motivates me so much to keep making videos like these. You already know it. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so unless you're blind or stupid, you would already know that Forbidden Chalice is a quick play spell card. It's not once per turn, and it actually does something randomly very convenient. It boosts the attack of a monster by 400. Now, even if it said boost the attack of the monster by 0 attack, it still would have been a relevant effect, because it would have been able to single-handedly make the card usable in damage step. And this mattered because back in the days when you were playing like Zodiac Mirror matches, what you would try to do is actually summon like a pretty garbage monster, attack over their Drancia, and then they would be like, thinking, should I use the pop on your monster or not? Be like, okay, whatever, sure. And then you would be going on to damage step and using Forbidden Chalice. Whereas if you used it before the damage step, they would be like, okay, well, whatever, I'm just gonna chain the Drancia and pop your monster, so it's not that great. And if they didn't want to use it before, you can't really trap them by going, okay, chaining 2 Forbidden Chalice, because not everybody is going to fall for the bait, and some people might even just equip the Whiptail from the hand in order to make Drancia higher attack, so your garbage monster dies in battle. Just a little bit of history with Forbidden Chalice. The card has just kind of always been there. It's never been like huge, and this is the main point of this video. Forbidden Chalice is not a huge card. It's not a broken card. It's just good enough to the point where you have to consider playing it somewhere, sometimes, sometime. But what I would recommend you is, if you don't have the card, buy 3, because it's easy to get, and sometimes when the format isn't like too explosive, Forbidden Chalice can actually work better than hand traps. Let me explain myself. For the next format, what are the top decks? Flunderies and Jianjian, right? There's probably going to be a bit of everything as well. You're probably going to see Virtual World, whatever, blah blah blah. Try to think about it. Effect Veiler. It's a good card. It's a really good card, but you can draw it for a turn, you can get a hit by Call by the Grave, etc. It's not a guarantee to break boards in a way. Imperm, on the other hand, kind of, because you can draw it for turn, you can draw it off of your pots, well, draw it, search it, or draw it, Pot of Extravagance, for example, which is nice. So Imperm is kind of like that. But Chalice, one of the really nice applications that it also has that Imperm doesn't have, let's just say against Tri-Brigade, when you summon a bunch of monsters and then you try to attack, and then they go like Revolt, summon Amin, Imperm wouldn't work here since you control monsters, well, cards, whereas Chalice, it's a bit more flexible, you can use it right away. So it does have that kind of nice utility that just really helps, to be honest. And obviously, it's not a monster, so it doesn't randomly lose to Call by the Grave. It's not a trap, so it doesn't lose to Red Reboot. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Green Reboot doesn't exist yet. If it does, I think people will stop playing Brandish completely for the rest of ever. But yeah, Forbidden Chalice, great card, not broken card. I definitely do recommend playing 3 in your imaginary side deck. And yeah, if you want to have kind of a more aggressive deck going second while not compromising your going first, obviously, or the other way around, Forbidden Chalice is probably one of the better options for you if you don't want to play hand traps. I totally understand that. I think hand traps are pretty bad, but yeah, it's kind of like that card that is a bit similar to Book of Moon, because quick play spell cards are some of the, you know, the favorite cards that players usually want to include in their deck, since they're trap cards that can be used from the hand, basically, or just sometimes just considered spell cards. I don't know, it's hard to explain. They're easily chainable, you can use them very well going first and second. Usually they have a less impactful effect than trap cards, but that makes sense, it's because they're more flexible. But anyways, that's it for Forbidden Chalice card review. Really hope you guys were able to enjoy and learn a thing or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace.